Hello, hello, hello. How are you? How was your week? How are you feeling? How is your head? Where's your head at right now? How is your heart? How is your beautiful body? I hope that you are so well, happy, joyous, and free. This week, in keeping with this nourishment and nurturing, I want to talk to you about the new moon in Pisces coming up on the 13th. And I'm also going to walk you through a tarot spread that I made for us to try. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please make sure that you like this video and share it widely. Yes. Okay, so as some of you may know, I am particularly endeared to Pisces as I live with two of them. I happen to be really good friends with a handful of Pisces, and I can just say that in the 10 years I've lived with my significant other, the big Pisces in my house, I have only really just begun to scratch the surface of what I've been able to understand Pisces to be of these archetypes. And I say that now with the perspective after a decade that still waters run truly, truly deep. I know that said, I've just begun to skim the surface of this wild potential for change, for alchemy, for incredible transformation, a quality or characteristic that I am deeply interested and invested in, as I am incredibly committed to the transformation of myself. I am committed to the transformation of my communities near and the global community that we exist within. And so that said, I am a firm believer that those that live under the sign of Pisces can really lead the way within themselves first, and then leading the rest of us secondarily into being able to face and not master, but really bring to light all elements of shadow, all elements of that which is previously unseen. That which, in my opinion, is the real rub when it comes to the power of change and transformation. So that said, we know that Pisces rules the 12th house in the zodiac, the 12th and last house. More about my thoughts on that in just a moment. This house, this deep, fecund, dark, fertile house, fertile ground of a house, is also ruled by Neptune. This is the house that's going to govern dreams, fantasies, fears, hopes, anything that lies in the realm of the subconscious, or maybe not so subconscious. Maybe this is what lives in the realm of our guts, our intuition. Also, what is ruled there by the 12th house, by Neptune and by Pisces. What's so interesting about intuition and guts, and staying within the conversation of the 12th house of the zodiac and Pisces and Neptune, not only does it rule the realm of dreams, hopes, fears, desires, anything subversive, anything hidden, it also rules the feet, the toes, it also rules the lymphatic system, and it rules the left eye. And what's so interesting is the further I dig into the study of this particular house and all of its connections to that which I'm looking at any given day, I've noticed that every time I make an acknowledgement to a fellow psychic, a fellow seer or intuitive person, I always do sort of this symbol or this notion, and some of you may recognize it all the way, of the boop, like, I see you, right? I see you, friend, over there, pretending not to know how wonderful you are. I see you. I see you and your truth, even if you are not an acknowledgement of it just yet. I see you. I see your truth. I see you for exactly what you are, even if you aren't feeling prepared to see it for yourself yet. But I just found that to be kind of a funny and interesting connection, that Pisces, or the 12th house, and Neptune rules the left eye, and every single time I make that gesture, Okay. I see you. It's always under my left eye. And Pisces, the 12th house, Neptune is the great seer. Now, I maintain that I feel that this is, the birds are really into our conversation. I maintain that this is a house or a sign under which wild and immense alchemic transformation can take place. And it is not because of some staunch or stern, hold on bravery, on boldness. I maintain that it is possible, this alchemic transformation, because this is the place where all truth exists. And to be able to truly create alchemic change within the nature of ourselves, our immediate surroundings, and in the world at large, we must first be willing to encounter all that exists, the whole level of truth that exists. So on to more a little bit about, or getting into the realm of tarot and my perspective on Pisces. So let's first observe once again that Pisces patron card is that of the Moon card, right? Connecting the Moon card to deep, wild truths, those truths that expand outward toward everything and all, those same truths that hold the immense power for alchemic change. Let's again take the Moon card, Pisces card, of course, right? I like to really talk to people in readings that pull the Moon card that might seem a little intimidated by its nature. First of all, we can see that I will speak for myself as a reader who does not happen to be a fear-based reader. We can see that when the Moon card is pulled, it would, in my experience, never come up in a reading as the need for an examination of truth, or the beacon, the heads up rather, of a truth, an inner landscape of truth that is coming your way that you or the querent would not be able to handle. Well, these birds are going through it over there. Maybe they're having a moment with the Moon. Who knows? That said, the Moon card is never going to come up in a reading as something that needs to be feared, as a period of time that you would be exposed to further revelations that you would not be able to process and handle. The spirit entities that communicate with me just simply do not offer that which is not for you, period. And I know, I had to check myself, is this a thought or a no? I know that that same policy, that same idea translates into just the realm of being and growth, evolution, and plain conversation. The Moon card and all of its elements, all of its characteristics, translated to the energies of Pisces, is not going to be translated to you, offered to you, without the inherent capability of you, the person having the experience, being able to really process through that which is being presented to you. Does it mean that the energies of Pisces, that the deep, resounding, and transformative sight is presented to you without some heart-catching, energetic moments? No. That's not what that means at all. Does this mean that the energy, the possibility of existing within Piscean energy, especially, and this is important to talk about, as we move into this upcoming new moon, that what are we building? What are we growing? What are we gestating? This wild, fertile egg, this wild, fertile fish egg, not for nothing, for this Piscean new moon. Does it mean that we are called to exist in this time of sensitivity and have it not affect us in the slightest? No, absolutely not. I wish I could hear crickets around me, because that's basically what I feel when I think about the idea or expectation of entering or existing within the realm of Pisces, of growing this moment of alchemic transformation without being affected by it. A Piscean new moon, this particular Piscean new moon, especially as it butts up a week shy of the spring equinox, especially as it butts up a week shy of the spring equinox, is really, really inviting you. I won't say challenging you. It is really inviting you into being enveloped by the deep feeling of all that you encounter. The invitation stepping further into or toward the Piscean new moon, especially as it butts up against the spring equinox a week later. This is almost like prep. It's pretty beautiful. It's just really, really encouraging you, inviting you into this vast sight that if you could just hold it a little bit longer, would provide you with insight into anything as simple and mundane as what works, what's ready to be tossed, what works, what are your assets, and what's ready to be tossed, what are your liability, air quote, liabilities. You're being invited into the prolonged audience, the prolonged sitting, the wrapping around you, this deep water of sensitivity for the new moon, and staying there long enough to let it grow, right? Because this is a new moon. You're being asked to slip into this warm water and allow yourself to sort of float with it. And what do you find there? I'm also going to make a relatively bold statement that another invitation for this upcoming new moon, especially because it's coming up against this equinox, the spring, the birthing equinox, the fertile equinox. Anything left within your inner landscape at this point in your life has fertile capability, has fertile possibility. I don't care what it is. I don't even have to know you. I don't even have to ever meet you. And I have it on good authority in my spiritual Bluetooth that anything that you encounter within this warm and salty, sultry, liquidy blanket that you are being asked to slip into, anything there is there for you. It is not there against you in the slightest. So as you prep for this new moon in Pisces on the 13th, what could be your focus? I'm not going to say what should be your focus. The words should, must, always, never are very strong words that I hope to use less and less in my vocabulary. But what could you really be focusing on as you allow your nervous system to settle or be in enough of a stasis to allow you to stay here in this water? Okay, well, let's focus again on the 12th house, the ruler of Pisces, of Neptune, of deep and salty water. I feel like I want to have beach hair just for the occasion. Anyway, so yeah, again, the 12th house rules the lymphatic system. Maybe make it an extra point to do a little dry brushing. Say 3 times, 3 is the magic number, 3 times starting from your feet, working your way up towards your heart, of course, and then out your arms. All that is not on me is not of me. All the way up, and of course on your back too. Dry brush up. All that is not on me is not of me. Try that 3 times, and if you are at all able, take a salt bath after you do this. If you're like me and you happen to be either very tall, or you just don't have a tub or a tub that fits you, maybe try a foot bath. You don't have a foot spa? Get a big bowl, put some salt and some warm to hot water in there after you dry brush. Of course, this is going to focus on your lymphatic system. It's also going to focus on the centers, the chakras in your feet, grounding you, obviously. And this is not just because of the obvious, your feet hit the earth. This is another reason why I am making this video outside this week. I deeply wanted to ground in and further nourish and nurture as I hope to sit a little longer in these waters. But there is a chakra, an energy center at your feet, at both of your feet. And if you are a bit off kilter or off center there, if you are not grounded or salted, it will absolutely have you further up in the ether, or have you feeling a lot more unfamiliar with the literal ground that you walk on than you really need to be. So I would suggest that maybe you could try some of that. Maybe you could do some facial massage. This is also counting for lymphatic drainage, specifically around your ocular area. Why not? So we're talking about the 12th house and deep, deep, deep intuition. Oof. Practicing a little tapement at the third eye and under, especially making sure that you are clear around your lymph nodes, which are going to be right around here, around your left eye. Anything that feels right to you, whether it is fixing your bangs so you don't look crazy, anything that feels right to you that is nourishing and grounding, please just get into that. Those are just some practices that have really benefited me time and time and time again. They benefit me always, but especially during watery seasons, especially during poignant moon cycles, when I'm really trying to make it a point to sit with where I am. And that is my overarching thought or statement for this new moon in Pisces. Another reason why I wanted to sort of be out here in my backyard with my neighbor's dogs howling is, I don't know if you can see this behind me, but I have stepping stones in various places in my backyard. And I wanted to sit in the middle of one of them to really help me practice what I'm about to say to you, which is my overarching meditation thought or idea for this new moon in Pisces is, how can I more fully be where my feet are? This is, in theory, this is in the esoteric realm. Where am I at in life? Where are my feet in life? Spiritually, physically, emotionally? Yes, of course. But also, how can I, who live so much in my head, up here so much of the time, how can I more fully be where my feet are right now? What is in front of me that I can do right now? Am I feeling too overwhelmed by the reality of life in this moment, which is not uncommon to Pisces? How can I more fully embrace the fact that my neighbor's dog is super howly? But seriously, what needs to be done, or what can I do right now for this point in my day? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I tired? Do I need some sort of nourishment, rest? Do I need an audience? Is there anything that I need to talk about right now? Maybe, maybe not. That's okay. Wherever you are in your feet, or in your day, what can you do right now in the literal, in the mundane? How can you more fully be present where your feet are in the mundane of your life? Yes. How can you more fully be present where your feet are in the realm of the unseen, in the esoteric, in the realm of the spiritual? I don't know. Maybe let's talk about it next week. Without further ado, let's just dive into this tarot spread that I made for you. So the tarot spread for the new moon in Pisces. Again, if it helps you to feel anchored, maybe pull out your moon card in whatever deck it is that you're using, and let's start by asking ourselves, which of my assets will help me be more present for my inner landscape? So this is to say that you already have what you need, your assets. You already have, very much like the magician and his his table of tools right in front of him. I'm assuming correctly, I'm sure, that you already have whatever it is you need to be more fully present for this deep, watery, salty inner landscape of yours. It's not that you don't know what it is, and that's a side note for making tarot spreads. I don't think that you ever need to know what it is that you feel, but we're perhaps looking at that which you hadn't considered. We're asking for a spiritual perspective here. So again, number one, which of my assets will help me be more fully present for my inner landscape? Number two, the question is, what of my fears are ready for an audience? Which of my fears are ready for an audience? This is, again, me assuming correctly, I would wager, that there are fears that maybe you hadn't considered you're ready to grant an audience to, that are ready to bubble up to the surface and talk to you. There are sub-questions here behind number two, which of my fears is ready for an audience? And the sub-question A is, how will my life benefit from giving this particular or this group of fears an audience? And the sub-question B, y'all know that I always like to look outward at community. How will my community benefit from this? How will my community benefit from this particular or set of fears bubbling up and receiving an audience? Question number three, which of my dreams is ready for attention? Makes me feel like happy even just saying that. Which of my dreams is ready for attention? This is me assuming correctly that they're in there. Sub-question A, how will my life benefit from one or more of your dreams getting some attention finally? Sub-question B, how will my community benefit from this? How will your community benefit from you giving audience to one or more of your dreams that are ready to not just receive some attention and the fears that are ready for an audience, but remember, you're not just encountering these, which will lead me to question number 4. Is there anything right here where my feet are that needs more nurturing? And again, this is not me thinking that you don't know what you need, because I really dislike it when tarot spreads or readers pose questions that downplay a person's emotional maturity, emotional intellect. Is there anything right here where my feet are? Again, I am on my square stepping stone. Is there anything right here where my feet are that needs more nurturing from a spiritual perspective? I left this as the final question because I really just want to sort of bookend questions 2 and 3 with the encouragement to stay with whatever you find for a little while longer. I'd like to dangle the carrot of the spring equinox in front of you and the fertile birthing process that will be, that we'll talk about next week. Which are my fears are ready for an audience? Question 2. Subset A, how will my life benefit from this audience? Question B, how will my community benefit from this audience? Sit with that a little bit longer, and question 4 will hopefully help you with that. perhaps even more challenging than the fears that are ready for an audience. Which of your dreams are ready for attention? That can be sometimes harder to sit with than the fear. But again, we're looking at question number 4. Is there anything right here, right now in my square of where my feet are that needs more nurturing? Please let me know how you fare with this spread. I make them, of course, from my heart and soul. I make them to be of benefit to my evolution and alchemic change. I make them to be of benefit to my communities near and far, and to the alchemic evolution that we are really in the middle of. Let me know how you do. Let me know what you find in your spread. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please click like this video, and please share this far and wide. Merry meet, merry part, merry may we meet again. I will see you next week.